It also assesses interventions, the success of interventions in the country to address food loss and waste, and especially looking at policy also as a key component of addressing these issues. So the report, of course, was based on secondary evaluations and conversations with key informants. It covers 6 value chains. We look at maize, we look at potato, we look at fish, we look at fruits, banana, avocado, mango, which are critical commodities for our county. 1, because they are staple foods. 2, because they are nutritious when you consider fish and fruits. And also we look at commerciability or the commercial aspect of these products. That's avocado and mango, which are critical also for smallholder farmers in the country. Well, we didn't just focus on Kenya. Kenya is just but a beginning. Our work, of course, is spread across the continent. We have presence in Ethiopia, we have presence in Rwanda, we also are present in Ghana and also in Congo. But as a starting point to generate momentum around this critical issue, we began by showcasing what is actually happening in Kenya. We have also begun work in Rwanda, and we've already done sort of a high-level assessment on some of the critical value chains, including cassava, maize, and also legumes, which also are very important to them as a country. So this is more like the beginning of the greater momentum that we want to see across the continent. And we're also challenging other partners that they can take it up, of course, partners and governments, that this can actually go on beyond us. It doesn't have to be WRI doing these case studies across the continent. What the report does, or the key question that it tries to address is the question on what is the extent of food loss and waste in the country, for example. And we are asking ourselves,
sometimes
does data
what
exist?
Actually gets what's
trying to see have people done these assessments and to what level. So as I pointed out, yes, there is some data, but very few studies. For example, there was only 1 study for banana, only 2 studies on potatoes, about 5 studies on maize. And all these studies were not covering the entire value chains, but covering segments of the value chains. The assessments on maize, for example, looked at storage and drying, ignoring the other sectors. And yet we know that there are critical losses also at the farm level. When you think about potato value chain as well, there's transportation. There's also, at the farm level, there's a lot actually that happens, including unharvested potatoes. So these studies are patchy, they're inconsistent, and you cannot even compare the findings across the existing studies. So then we are just highlighting that there are definitely gaps, and we say that gaps in data are equivalent to gaps in actions. Definitely, definitely. As much as, you know, when you talk about maize, everyone sees, every smallholder farmer is practically a farmer of maize, almost in Kenya, I would say that, right? And just like any other commodity, without proper storage, for example, even at smallholder level, there is definitely loss. And this loss can be as a result of insects, it can be a result of disease, it can be a result of weather elements. So even if you thought about just the storage back at home, the question is, how do our parents, for example, store grain? Do they store them in hermetic bags, which can give them safety for 3 years at least, or do they store them in the regular sacks that then after a few months they've already been attacked, leading to food loss and also issues of food insecurity, because when they're attacked then they don't become safe enough for our own consumption. Yeah. There's no better place to do it than where the discussions are actually happening, because the Food Systems Forum, I think, is one of the events that bring together the important stakeholders. It brings together governments, it brings together civil societies, it brings together development partners, researchers, and private sector. Everyone is actually here. And so it is good that they also get to understand what is happening, even as they go back home to start thinking about what are the actions that each of the stakeholders can actually do. So whether it's research, are they going to invest more to build concrete data? If it is private sector, what are the pathways or what are some of the solutions that they can deliver on to ensure that the farmers that they engage with actually are able to address food loss and waste? And also for other stakeholder development partners, where do they want to put their money? Are there scalable solutions, and what are they trying to achieve? So it's more an enlightening point and also call to action for the various stakeholders that we have present at this forum. Thank you very much for your question. Yes, there is of course life after the report launch, and we have begun work. One is that we have done campaigns on radio and TV also, creating awareness in the country. We also do sensitization through workshops and training forums for government and businesses. But one of the areas also that we have seen as a pathway to ensuring that people get to understand food loss and waste is also consumer behavior, which is an area we are also exploring, that even as we drive solutions and drive policy, consumer behavior is also critical to this issue. So thinking about how do people buy their items, sometimes we overshop, or how much food we prepare at home, can we reuse, right? If we go to a dinner at a hotel, can we carry takeaway? So there are simple things that people can actually do to reduce food loss and waste. But again, they must first of all understand what is food loss and waste before they start taking action.
Okay.